Hi, everybody. So you sent me away on Tuesday from Stanthorpe to do my homework rather than me sending you away to do yours. And that was to come back to you with instructions on how to merge a social media calendar that you've developed in ChatGPT using all of the guidelines that we have worked on over the 3 workshops, how to merge it into your social media calendar in your Notion board. And you'll remember the very clever Kelly volunteered that she had worked out how to do that. So I had to go away and do my homework and work out the best way to do that. And I'm pleased to say I think I have figured it out. And so let me step you through it. So you'll remember your Notion board that's got your content niche and pillars up the top. And then it had this social media calendar. Ignore that one because that's one I prepared earlier. But imagine this blank one here. Now, this has been designed originally so that you could do your brain dump, do your brainstorming down here and just slide those cards up to the calendar. But now you've gotten more advanced and clever, and you want to take what you've developed using AI and pop it in here as a draft social media calendar. So what we've got to do is remember that this has been designed with certain properties or fields in it. So essentially like a database sitting underneath this, and there are properties underneath it. So if I go into settings, just to remind you, and this is quite good base technical knowledge anyway, thinking about databases and fields, and we have a look at edit properties, you'll see that these are the properties. Now, you're going to be familiar with all of this now, aren't you? Because we've got the name of the post, which is where I want the name and the idea of the post. You've got your content pillar, your content type, call to action, the date, of course, any tags, and your value pillar. And of course, you've learned all about those things in workshop 1, and then we worked with them again in workshop 3 for your scripting exercise and the campaign exercise. What it means, why that is important, is we want all this to map across beautifully into this existing calendar rather than having to create a new one and just tacking it on to the end of your Notion board, which is an option. You could do that. You could just import it into this Notion board, but let's go this way. Now, how you're going to import to here is you are going to come over here, and you see when you're at the top of any of these sections, you get these very faint little 6 dots here. And if I open those up, you've got options here. And if we go to more options, one of them says merge with CSV, and that's what we're going to be using. The CSV is basically a very basic table of data that you're going to bring in and merge with this empty table of data, or replace the existing data that is in here. I don't know if it'll completely replace it or it might just merge with it. So you might have to do a bit of cleaning up. Okay, so let's go over now to ChatGPT and where we've got our data. So what I had to do is I had to be quite explicit, and you will have to do this as well if you want it to map nicely across. And that is that we want the social media calendar that you have developed to have all of those elements of data. However, one thing, just a little tricky thing, is I want you to instruct it that your post title and your post idea are together. So let me just see how I had to do that. Yes, I got my calendar. That's all very good. And it gave me all of these things which I had, but because the way the calendar is instructed in Notion, and we could edit it, but that's a bit complicated for you at this stage of things, like let's just do it this way rather than going and changing the base template. I had to then say, well, that's great. You've given it to me in a CSV file, which you can see all this boring looking data here. But what I need now is for you to please put the post title and the post idea together. So if I was writing that into a complete prompt, I would be explicit and say, please give me a social media calendar with all of these elements here, date, post, title, type. So let's just do the prompt so you've got it. So please produce my social media calendar in a CSV file and use all of these headings, but combine the title and the post idea, the post title and post idea, the post title and post idea into the one cell. Okay, so that's your command. Now it's going to go away and it's going to think about that and it's going to reproduce what I had up above. Okay, so what I've got here is my CSV file that I can download. I'm just going to double check one other thing. Can you please check that the date cells are formatted for date? Now, this is important because we want it to go into a calendar format. We need that to be formatted into date. So absolutely good question. I generated for you the date column is formatted as plain text format, that is universal format that Notion, Excel, etc. all recognize as the date type and will auto convert. Fabulous. All right, so I'm happy with that. So I now can go back and download that file. So I'll just download that. Okay, now let's go back into Notion. Now remember we were over here. We had clicked, we come next to our blank social media calendar or the one that we want to populate with this data. And we've gone to the 6 dots, clicked on that, and then we've gone more options and we've gone merge with CSV. Now I'm going to go choose file. I go out and I grab that CSV file and click open. It's uploading it. Now I have to go and see, it's going to send it to this location, social media calendar 1. Yours will just be called social media calendar. Go map CSV. And this is just checking the mapping between the data. So you can see it's cleverly got all of the things that we want in the right columns. It's combined our post title and idea here. And then we've got the mapped, they're like for like, so that's no problem mapping those columns and property type. Then we go import CSV and voila, there you go. They have all been imported into the calendar. So I can click on any of these and here is our post title and idea. Let's go check another one. Great. And we've got our content pillar, content type, call to action. Great. Now, if for whatever reason you would prefer to see that in a table view, just come up here and click in table view and you've got it there. You can always download it as well if you need to get it out there. And I think that might be in here. You might have to find that one yourself where the import export is on that. Let's just have a look. No, see, I'm not clever enough to find that now, but I'm sure you can ChatGPT that to find that out if you want to download it for whatever reason. But you've got your CSV file there anyway. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And if you've got any questions, just let me know. We'll go back to calendar view. Thanks, everyone. Have fun.